Now today we will discuss about the poultry diseases part 3. Infectious diseases occurs when an organism enters your body and causes diseases. These organisms that are very diverse and can include like virus, bacteria, fungi, parasites and other nutritional defects and environmental conditions also prone to diseases by contaminated food, water, air, etc. The types of organisms that cause diseases are two types: infectious diseases, non-infectious diseases. In Poultry diseases part 2 we have discussed about the viral diseases. Today we are going to discuss about the bacterial diseases in poultry. Bacteria is a single cell organism. They are very diverse, coming in a variety of different sizes, shapes. They are found in all sorts of environments including soil, water bodies, and all the surroundings, or even radiating exposure trusted sources. There are a great number of bacteria in and on our bodies. These bacteria often doesn't cause any fact. The bacteria in human digestive tract can help us digest our food. Sometimes bacteria can enter our bodies and cause an infection. Some of the examples of infectious bacteria include urinary tract infections, often caused by coliform bacteria, food poisoning, often caused by E. coli, Salmonella, etc. Now coming to our topic, infectious agents. Second one, bacterial diseases. Bacterial diseases, there are many types in poultry like avian tuberculosis, infectious coryza, colibacillus, fowl cholera, infectious synovitis, necrotic enteritis, Ornithobacterium rhinotracheal, pullorum disease and fowl typhoid, mycoplasma plasmosis or chronic respiratory disease. Last one, bumblefoot or pododermatitis. Coming to avian tuberculosis. Avian tuberculosis is a chronic bacterial infection that spreads slowly through a flock. All bird species appear to be susceptible. The disease in birds is characterized by gradual weight loss, sluggishness, and sometimes the comb and wattles shrink and become pale. The disease causes multiple granulomas, a mass of firm tissue formed as a result of inflammation, to form a number of organs, predominantly in the liver, spleen, intestine, and bone marrow. Here, these avian tuberculosis affects the weight loss of the animal, sluggishness, and also the organs, affects the organs, predominantly liver, spleen, and intestine and bone marrow. Avian tuberculosis is caused by bacterium Mycobacterium avium. It can survive for a long as 4 years in the soil or when protected by organic matter. It also resists to acid and alkali. The bacterium can spread from bird to bird, animal to bird, and bird to animal. The incubation period is several weeks to months. What causes an avian tuberculosis is by Mycobacterium avium. Prevention and treatment of avian tuberculosis. There is no treatment for avian tuberculosis, only control is the treatment. Control is achieved through depopulation and good biosecurity practice, including control, screening agent against birds, isolation from the birds and animals, and good sanitation. Dirt floored houses should have several inches of floor removed and replaced with dirt from a place where poultry have not been maintained. Infectious coryza, next one, caused by which is Avibacterium paragallinaриum. It is highly contagious bacterial disease. It shows mainly rhinitis and infraorbital sinusitis, seen as a facial edema in this area. Conjunctivitis and abundant nasal and ocular secretion that may cause eyelids adhere cloud also appears. Usually this state is accompanied by decreased consumption of food and water and in laying birds, by variable reduction of egg production. Low respiratory tract infection rarely occurs. That means this infectious coryza affects on the growers and also the layers. Due to its facial edema and nasal and ocular secretions, the bird cannot feed or consume food and water, so that the weight reduction occurs, and in layers the egg production is being reduced. Now we can see here the infection of the animal with the laser pointer. Here the edema, facial edema, the eye is totally closed. You can see here in the nasal region a small puslet is being seen, where the oozing of the from the nasal region, and here it becomes, see the edema, in the facial region, it is the swelling we can see here clearly, and due to this condition it cannot eat properly and it cannot see where the water is and where the food is. This is the normal bird. Infectious coryza, highly contagious acute disease of upper respiratory tract of chicks, turns into a chronic respiratory disorder and it cannot breathe properly. Treatment gentamicin, penicillin, streptomycin delivered in feeding or drinking of water. Proper disinfection has to be maintained. Colibacillosis, caused by bacterial infection with avian pathogenic Escherichia coli. E. coli bacteria or various stereotypes of E. coli are normal intestinal inhabitants. It is estimated that 10 to 15% of intestinal coliforms are potentially pathogenic. Infection can be primary or secondary. After primary host defense damage, example, respiratory viral infections, mycoplasma infections, parasites, wounds, nutrition, then this will attack and cause lot of damage to the birds. Transmission. E. coli are normal intestinal inhabitants and are shed via direct or indirect contact and feces. Egg transmission. Egg surface is being contaminated commonly can lead to high risk chick mortality. Environmental presence and vector like houseflies and dark lining beetles can also spread E. coli. That means in the farm, the houseflies should not be seen. They have to maintain the flies doesn't come into the poultry houses. Species affected. Chicks and turkeys. Most avian species are susceptible. Clinical signs and lesions. Clinical signs vary depending on specific disease include induced by E. coli, from very mild cellulitis to severe diseases, retarded growth, increased mortality, reduced feed and water intake, lameness. These are the symptoms we can see in that birds. Lesions, polyseptimia in combination with polyceratosis, slapping itis, osteomyelitis, synovitis, enteritis, meningitis, and young birds with omphalitis. Both morbidity and mortality are very variable. Diagnosis. Clinical signs in combination with isolation and identification. Treatment. Antibiotics based on antibiotic sensitivity test. Control. Hygiene management. Hatching egg management and E. coli vaccination and vaccination against primary cause like respiratory virus, coccidiosis, IBD, CAV. Vaccination has to be given to the chicks from the growers, layers and broilers. The most commonly occurring disease fowl cholera. Avian cholera, it is also known as pasteurellosis or avian hemorrhagic septicemia. Is cause for the fowl cholera is Pasteurella multicocida. It is several stereotypic bacteria. Transmission of fowl cholera is mainly from bird to bird by water or feed contamination. Vectors like flies, red mites can be carriers and can add to the spread of this disease. Now here flies and red mites are very dangerous carriers. Rodents, rats and mice are also appear to play a vital role in contamination of water and feed with Pasteurella multicocida. Species affected turkeys, chicks, chickens, ducks, geese, game birds and other bird species are susceptible. Clinical signs and lesions. Affected birds are depressed and have decreased appetite. Egg production will be dropped by 5 to 15%, and mortality will be high in acute fowl cholera. That is, egg production is falling down by 5 to 15%, and mortality rate is also high. Birds that die from acute fowl cholera frequently have bluish comb and wattles. Chronic fowl cholera will not cause high mortality, although there will be an increase in deaths. Swollen wattles is a feature of chronic fowl cholera. The management has to be very strictly maintained. Lesions, acute phase septicemia, vascular change in abdominal viscera, hemorrhage, liver swelling, and focal necrosis, ovary appearance, facet and hemorrhagic, and show ruptured yolks. Chronic phase, localized infection in conjunctiva, facial edema, middle ear infection resulting in torticollis, meningeal infections. Diagnosis, clinical signs in combination with isolation and identification from samples from birds that die of acute fowl cholera. That is, they have to take the fresh dead bird for diagnosis. Treatment, antibiotics based on antibiotic sensitivity test. The earlier the diagnosis, the better change of positive effect of an antibiotic treatment. The early the birds have to be identified, and then proper treatment has to be given. Otherwise, the total poultry industry will be at a loss. Now we can see here the control, hygienic management, rodent control to eliminate possible sources of Pasteurella multicoida. Vaccination can be considered in the area where Pasteurella multicoida is prevalent. Both live and inactivated vaccines are available in the market, and the birds have to be given. Now here we can see the bird with the bluish color, and it is showing the edema, facial edema. The lungs are affected, liver is affected. You can see the spots, the whitish spots. Infectious synovitis is a clinical condition caused by different possible agents like Mycoplasma synovia, Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, and certain reoviruses. Streptococcus aureus, Staphylococcus infectious are common in poultry and mainly caused by Staphylococcus aureus. Here this infection synovitis is caused by many agents depending upon the availability of that particular species at that particular farm. Transmission is generally natural mechanism due to damage, wounds or infections or breakdown of the immunity. It may cause, or due to viral infection. If the bird is attacked by the viral, then these bacteria also, where the puslets or the small uh, injuries that have taken place, there the bacteria dominates. Species affected, chickens and turkeys mostly. Clinical signs and lesions. Staphylococcus aureus is infectious and can become manifest after breakdown of natural defense mechanisms such as wounds, inflammation, hematogenous dissemination. Signs vary with the site of entry. Most frequently affected tissue, bone, tendons, sheaths and joints. Clinical. Picture includes lameness in one or both the legs, ruffled feathers, swollen joints, fever, and increased mortality. Lesions, swollen joints, arthritis, pre-arthritis, and synovitis, osteomyelitis, septicemia, swollen liver, spleen. All these conditions we can observe swollen joints, arthritis, periarthritis, and synovitis, osteomyelitis, septicemia, swollen liver, and spleen are affected. Diagnosis: clinical signs and gross lesions in combination with isolation from the affected tissue will confirm staphylococcus infection. Treatment: antibiotic treatment. Success is not guaranteed, so only the control, that is the prevent damage to natural host defense mechanism. Good litter quality, litter management, prevent wounds, hatchery management, sanitation, and also vaccination to the birds. In time, vaccination will protect the poultry industry. Necrotic enteritis, NE, or clostridial enteritis, enterotoxemia. It is a bacterial infection caused by Clostridium perfringens. It is gram-positive, toxin-forming, spore-forming, anaerobe. When the microflora balance in the gut is disturbed, the potentially pathogenic Clostridia begins to produce toxins and proteolytic enzymes. It affects the gut area of the birds. The toxins will induce cell damage known as necrotic enteritis (NE). Factors involved in microflora disturbance include distribution includes intestinal infection by coccidiosis, nutritional factors may be protein source, grain source, or diet change. Management: litter, timing, timely feeding, antibiotic treatments, transmission. Clostridium perfringens is an ambiguous organism that can be found in feces, soil, dust contaminated feed, and litter. Species affected: chicks, turkeys, and quails. Natural outbreak have reported in chickens for 2 to 6 months of age. Majority of NE problems are identified in broilers raised on litter 2 to 5 weeks of age. So here the growers are affected and also the broilers, that is the meat producing. So the industry has a great loss if this disease occurs. Clinical signs: there are two forms of necrotic enteritis: acute clinical form and the subclinical form. Although it can be seen at any age, the acute clinical form is primarily a disease in young chickens, showing several depression, reluctance to move, diarrhea, ruffled feathers, and sudden death, and increased mortality in growers. Subclinical forms produce not onwards signs but has big impact on performance, weight loss, reduced weight gain, and impaired FCR. That is, in these birds, broilers, weight loss. Weight loss leads to the, it has to produce 2 to 3 kgs of weight, but when it is producing only 1 kg, then it is a total loss to that farmer. who is growing the birds. Lesions, necrosis of the mucosa of the small intestine. In the clinical forms, the necrosis might progress into a fibronecrotic enteritis forming a diphthetic membrane. The mild form, focal area of the intestinal mucosal necrosis without further clinical signs can be formed. That means it attacks the intestine causing the necrosis lesions. Diagnosis. Clinical sign in combination with typical gross and microscopic lesions and isolation of conjunctive agent will confirm the clostridial infection. Treatment: antibiotics. Control: vaccination of breeders with inactivated vaccines based on toxins inducing active and passive immunity have shown to offer good protection. Next, Ornithobacterium rhinotracheae (OR or ORT) cause bacterial infection. It is a gram-negative rod responsible for causing infections in chickens and turkeys of all age groups. Transformation. Transmission is through horizontal transmission from bird to bird and by infected formities. The infected breed hen may transmit the disease agent vertically to the offsprings. Species affected: chicks and turkeys of all age groups. Clinical signs: may cause respiratory disorders, usually between 2 to 6 and 12 to 20 weeks of age, that is the older birds and younger birds. The respiratory disease with watery eyes and swelling of the sinus infraorbitans. Here the respiratory tract is being infected and watery eyes, swelling of the sinus infraorbitalis. Broilers may also show respiratory signs of infection from 4th week. That is the older birds. A severe purulent pneumonia accompanied by air sacculitis and pericarditis may be found in broilers as well as turkeys. Affected birds also show growth retardation. Concomitant viral infections may intensify the severity of the lesions. Diagnosis: blood serum test by ELISA test and can identify the specific lesions. Isolation of organism and its biochemical determination may be attempted, but care should be taken as it is a highly contagious. Treatment: broad spectrum antibiotics are to be given with sensitivity test. Control: an inactivated vaccine for broilers is available to prevent the disease and provide maternal antibodies to the offsprings of vaccinated breeds. Next, pullorum disease and fowl typhoid is caused by bacterium Salmonella pullorum. Fowl typhoid is caused by Salmonella gallinarium. Pullorum disease is caused by Salmonella pullorum and fowl typhoid is caused by Salmonella gallinarium, which is related to but not identical to Salmonella pulorum primarily affects chicks and turkeys. Transmission. Pulorum and typhoid can be transmitted horizontally and vertically by infected carrier breeders hen through their eggs. Chicks that hatch from such infected egg will have typically pulorum disease, white diarrhea, and high mortality. Infected chick can also infect other chicks via droppings. Now here the pulorum will affect, that is the horizontal and vertical transmission takes place through the breeder to the egg. If that egg hatches out and that small chick will be suffering from typical pulorum disease with white diarrhea and high mortality rate. The infected chick can also infect other chicks via droppings. Fowl typhoid is a disease in adult chickens with high mortality and morbidity. Horizontal transmission is important with fowl typhoid through infected droppings, dead bird carcasses, and infected clothing, shoe, utensils, and other formalities. So here, utmost care has to be taken in identifying and also for prevention. Species affected chickens and turkeys. Other birds such as quails, peahens, ducks, peacocks, and guinea fowl are susceptible. Clinical signs and lesions. Birds hatched from Salmonella pulorum or Salmonella gallinarum infected eggs appear or dead in hatching trays, and the young birds will show weakness, depressed appetite, poor growth, and increased mortality. As we have already discussed, the symptoms where the horizontal and vertical transmission occurs, the young birds will show weakness, depressed appetite, poor growth, and increased mortality is seen. In older birds, depression, diarrhea, ruffled feathers, pale, shrunken comb, and drop in egg production and increased mortality will be observed. So by these characters, these birds can be identified and removed from the flock, and the utmost care has to be taken while removing the birds also. Morbidity, mortality high, 25 to 60%, that is total loss to the industry. Lesions, acute phase septicemia, enlarged and congested liver, spleen, kidney, pericarditis, hemorrhage, liver may show white foci. The adult bird's atrophic ovarian follicles may be found. Treatment with antibiotics of pulorum or fowl typhoid disease will not cure but reduce clinical signs and desirable from a standpoint of eradication and control the diseases by elimination of infected carrier breeder hen. Blood testing can be done by agglutination test and the antigen will be detected. Carrier birds which can be culled. Control. Monitoring and eradication in breeders is preferred for layers vaccination against fowl typhoid, with a special Salmonella gallinareum 9R strain has been practiced in several countries. Prevention and control. Provide good quality litter or bedding. Keep bedding clean, dry, and deep. Keep perches less than 18 inches from the floor to prevent the foot damage due to impact of jumping. Remove potential source of injury such as sharp objects and surfaces. Treatment. Soak the foot in water and Epsom salt. Clean the affected area with soap and warm water. Then disinfect with alcohol. The skin is opened, drained pus and abscesses. If they are present, flush the abscess cavity with hydrogen peroxide to clean the out pus and debris. Pack the cavity with antibiotic ointment and wrap the foot with gauze and elastic bandage. Repeat daily until the foot heals. Next, chronic respiratory disorder or mycoplasmosis is caused by Mycoplasma gallisepticum, and secondary infection is caused by E. coli infection transmitted through egg, airborne droplets, or from bird to bird. And signs and lesions: coughing, sneezing, facial swelling, nasal discharge, cloudy air sacs, deformed eggs, drops in egg production. Ultimately, the layers are being affected with this chronic respiratory disease. Prevention. It has to be treated with Mg negative sources that are taken from National Poultry Improvement Plan or NPIP participants. Provide medicated feed should be given at different ages so that it can be controlled. Last, blue foot or pododermitis. The species affected are mostly chickens, mostly males and heavy birds, which causes injury in the lower surface of the foot and subsequent infection with Staphylococcus bacteria. Common cause of injury: rough perches, splinters, wire floor, poor litter or bedding quality. Signs and lesions: lameness, swelling of foot pad, hard pus filled abscess on foot pad you can observe. Signs: here you can see the lameness, swelling of the foot pad, hard pus filled abscesses on the foot pad. Here you can see the foot pad. In the fingers also you can see here large size swellings are seen. The foot is being damaged. Treatment: soak the foot in warm water, Epsom salt. Clean the affected area with soap and warm water. Then disinfect with alcohol, and this process has to be repeated until foot heals. Prevention: disinfection, removal of the infected birds, and also litter cleaning. This plays a vital role in controlling the infections. Finally, final thoughts. Be vigilant. Continuous flow health monitoring is a must. Useful, available senses, sight, touch, smell, hearing, as well as common sense. Look for all possible causes and or predisposing factors. Do not leave any stone unturned. Initiate cooperative or preventive measures promptly. When in doubt, seek experts' advice or the veterinary doctor. While practicing strictly biosecurity, provide adequate feed, water, ventilation, heat, etc. Now here you can see this is the fowl coryza, the swelling of the near the beak region. This is the swelling of the foot, and here the bird fell down due to paralysis, and here mycoplasma, whole body is swelled, botulism. This is the cholera. Thank you. And we'll continue to the part 4, which comprises fungal diseases and your parasites, internal and external parasites we can study in future. Thank you.